what is agile, and then when this guy comes, you will be sitting here, and then, but the problem was, where would we sit? There was no office. So then just next to me there was a neighbor who was a promoter and builder. So he had a plush office built and he didn't know what to do with it. So I said, can you give me your office for one day? So he agreed. So, and then we gave a big cabin to Giri, one other big cabin to Giri, Satish, and then the developers were sitting. But the staircase of that building was not yet ready. It was ready, but kind of it would look good, So and it was just above the office was just above the parking level, and the staircase was not ready, and there was this lift which was working. So we brought in the customer when he came in from the parking to first floor in the lift, so that he wouldn't get to see the staircase. And then we brought him in, and we had this presentation. So the improvisation that we did that time helped us acquire our first customer, right? And he signed the contract. He was so impressed with Giri's, and Giri had actually gone there later. So thanks to friends like him that we really acquired this first customer. Synerzip started like that. And the contract was signed, and then he wanted people, right? He wanted experienced people. He wouldn't do with the students. So, and he wanted to start in a month. I said, where do I produce? So I went to my wife. I said, you have this recruitment setup, so why don't you give me some really good, top-notch talent? I want to hire 2 or 3 people who are really, really good at .NET and this, that. So she was kind enough. She immediately agreed. They worked overnight, pulled up resumes, had interviews, and I read up some .NET and all that. I had some questions, and I found really 2 or 3 really talented guys. And I made them whatever they wanted. I actually paid them a little more than that. And said, okay, come on guys. And when the first person joined, he said, where's the office? So there again I requested this friend of mine, saying that, there's this gentleman who's asking where the office is. Can we come there and occupy it for a day or so? And he said, okay, fine, till lunchtime, no problem, but after lunch I'm having some guests. So I said, no problem. I went there, had, some discussion with him and said that, you're going to Mumbai for your visa tomorrow. Today you can go home after lunch, we'll have lunch together. And then we walked out, and, I kept him busy with lunch for long enough time, and then we went back. So that's how my first employee was satisfied that I had an office. And don't you have a bigger office? I said, yes, you come back from the US and you see a bigger office. So it's all improvisation. I mean, I was kind of giving whatever answers came to my mind at that time, because I had to make up things on the spur of the moment. There was no, but fortunately everything worked out. These guys went there, Madhu, Giri, and these 2 guys that all worked out. They came back and the team started. Then we got more customers. But then I had also we raised our first invoice. I got the check, so I had enough money to go for another office. So that's how we started and got. So, these improvisations, friends, and all these things. Otherwise, if we had actually made a business plan, there was no way. I mean, there is no business plan. I mean, come on, how could we go for an office where there is no income? I didn't have any money. In fact, I was down quite a lot from my previous venture. So, but it all worked out. I mean, some part of it is luck, some part of it is thanks to friends like Giri that we really started the way we started.
Fabulous. So on that note, I guess we'll open it up again, perhaps to the audience. If there's any further questions that you guys have. At the back.
Vinayak, I heard someone say that one of the most important things for entrepreneurial success is timing. Getting into a business at the right time. So in hindsight, what do you think has been your experience? Did you get into the wrong businesses or the right business at the wrong time? And how do you see it in the future? How does an entrepreneur realize this, if you agree with this at all?
Yeah, so timing is very important, and I would say that if you're exploring all the time, you're left with nothing but to explore. because you just lost what used to be your livelihood, then you would start looking. And business always shows the direction in which, so there are, one business model cannot hold because there are always ups and downs. So when there is a down in this business model, there is always the next business model. So it's not like, everything is down. So there always is the next thing that you need to kind of explore. So a startup is always in search of the next model. What is the next gig? So everything has a limited window of opportunity. If you look at the thing today, that we have Synerzip and businesses like these, where we are making basically good parity in the pay levels of what someone gets paid in the US vis-a-vis what one gets paid in India. So essentially we are making, so this difference, as you see, is slowly going to close. So the window of opportunity is limited. Now, just imagine what is the next thing after this. So if you don't move up the value chain, and if you start, if you keep sending timesheets and filling in hours, then your time is limited. Like the window of opportunity is going to close. But if you move up the value chain and instead of selling just timesheet hours, you start adding value, you start contributing not only to how we should build software, but what software should be built. In that case, that's the next gig that we are on to. So we have to continuously be in search of that, and timing is when what you have in mind starts working. Right? So you have a business model in mind and you are ready for it, but you don't yet go whole hog into it. You don't yet. So it's an opportunity that you're waiting for, and when it starts paying off, it tells you. You can see it clearly that yes, there is an aha moment. Yes, now this is the opportunity which has started working, and then you can go. So that's the timing part of it. So you have to be ready for it. I mean, even if the time is right, if you're not ready for it, I don't think so. Being ready for the right opportunity and then waiting for the right time.
Very interesting spin on that. So, any other hands raised? Sure. So, just one question from my side. So, what's next? What is it that you are now looking at as your next?
Yeah. So, as I said, moving up the value chain. Instead of so we would like to build products instead of build products for ourselves in India. So we are helping. So one of the things that is happening, which we are realizing increasingly, is that the investors, the way they are driving startups, is counterproductive at times, because an investor would actually invest in a business plan, and once he has invested in the business plan, there is very little leeway for the entrepreneur, for the startup to make changes to that business plan, because they can't go back and say, look, we told you, we sold you this story, but now our story has changed, right? It would be amounting to some kind of cheating, right? I mean, you told me this, you took $1 million from me, and now you're telling that's not going to work. So this is something where we want to allow we want to have a new way of investing, wherein we want to allow the entrepreneur to experiment, and instead of investing in a business plan, we would invest in a hypothesis and let him validate that hypothesis. If it is invalid, we just write it off. So instead of realizing that the business plan doesn't work at the end of 1 year, we are much better off if we realize that the hypothesis that he has is not valid at the end of 15 days, right? So that's a new model that we are trying to do. We're trying to change the way we invest, so that it becomes more like what is called as a lean startup model. So more like that, what we call lean investment, that goes well with the lean startup model. So that's the next thing that we are exploring.
You told us the story and the challenges that you had.
by signing up the first customer, the first few customers, which is a challenge for any entrepreneur.